Hey, welcome back, everybody. A major accomplishment for a local band. In just a day, the American Fork Marching Band and Color Guard are going to Indianapolis to compete in the Bands of America Grand Nationals.
Those judges are going to judge 94 bands. When they walk out there that night, they know in their mind who the finalist bands are. And it starts the minute you leave this room.
You just have to leave absolutely no question that you're one of the top bands in the country. You just have to go out and leave no question. Leave nothing in anybody's mind. As long as I've been here doing this with Mr. Miller, this is the best prepared and the best group that I've seen.
This is the moment that we've been waiting for. I think we're as more prepared as we ever have been, and I think we're ready to do this. So play it and perform it like it is your last show.
Think about how far you guys have come. Okay, and for a lot of us, it's a really long way. And right now, all of that is being put to test today when you guys perform as a team.
Getting to perform is a precious gift in this world. Music's what makes us, makes us feel, it makes us human. Those things that can't be put into words, we can do through music. I think we filled that place with us today.
We don't want this to be our last show, but it possibly could. So play it as if you will never play this again. Play it from your heart. Energize the people.
The thing is, we're in this magical place now where we're all going to end this together. They're going to take this away from us forever. Like, we all are standing in the center of the city, holding hands, and we know when the world's going to end. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, you're not going to remember where you came in. You're going to remember walking off the field and sitting in this room and feeling the way we felt about what we did together today.
If that is our last show and we leave that, I hope you feel really, really good.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we announce the 2013 Bands of America Grand National Finalist Bands.
Don't talk. Staff don't talk. Staff, I'm going to ask you if you'll please check where those pass-throughs happen. And it happens quite a lot in here. We got to really work those out, just kind of identify those spots where it happens and help them the next time make it clean. Hey, Phil?
Moving the same thing, 16 counts. Set.
When the American Fork High School Marching Band takes the field in competition, it extends a tradition of excellence, which is older than the band members themselves. The casual observer may see hints of greatness in 10 minutes of music and pageantry, or in the trophies which often come at the end of the day. Look behind the scenes, and you will see more. You will see hundreds of youth learn by experience to pay the price of excellence and the higher price of greatness. You will see young men and women learn teamwork at an advanced level, helping each other succeed, and polishing hundreds of individual performances, which finally merge precisely into a stunning and powerful spectacle. Look carefully, and you will also see loyalty, courage, love, sacrifice, and a humane beauty which transcends the music and the show.
Band, attend, high. On your feet. Together. In, out. Shoulders. Elbows. Frozen. On.
These things, more than victories, qualify a high school marching band for its honored place in memory and in the heart of its community. This is the story of the 2013 American Fork High School Marching Band, a season which leads to victory at the Bands of America Western Regional Competition, and from there to grand national performances in Indianapolis. This is the story of the Champions of the West. Many band members first aspired to join the band a decade ago or more. For some, it began in an elementary school assembly when the marching band came and set young dreams afire.
One of the most exciting things for me is when the marching band tours the elementary schools. and we'll be in a little gymnasium or cafeteria in their uniforms. The kids stand ready, not a word. And then in comes all these little 5th and 6th graders. I just love watching the expression on their faces because they're shocked.
I was like, wow, that is so cool. I want to be in band. And I also had older siblings who were in band, and so.
I decided that day when I heard them playing Vader's March at the assembly, I decided I was going to play the trombone.
I heard it and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. And so that year I picked up the clarinet and I started learning, and then that was kind of my main goal.
You just couldn't ignore the energy. It was absolutely incredible. And it was inspiring. You drove someone to think, well, one day I want to do something as powerful and as meaningful as that.
That's a powerful thing. And when they call them to attention, it's just electric is the only way you can use it.
So these youngsters are looking at this incredible array of uniformed students in this most attractive display of music. And so it is a big hook for those youngsters because they immediately want to be in marching band.
For others, marching band is a family tradition, spanning generations.
I had siblings in marching band for like my whole life. So I always wanted to do it. I always wanted to play an instrument.
Our family has always been marching band crazy, and when we moved here from North Carolina, we were just like, oh, might as well join the marching band. So it's just kind of a thing that we do. It's kind of expected, I guess.
Yeah, actually my family has been in the band for 14 years, ever since we moved to Highland. I wanted to be a drum major because, well, first of all, because my older brother Logan was a drum major, and he's one of my biggest heroes, so I like to follow in his footsteps.
For some, it began along the route of the annual American Fork Steel Days Parade, as the band marched past to the cadence of the drums and the applause of the gathered hometown audience, which always seems to cheer more for its band than for anything else in the parade. Some trace their dream directly to a Tuesday evening in October 2009. It was the aftermath of a nightmare.
The American Fork High School Band was headed home from a competition at Idaho State University.
The award-winning American Fork High School Marching Band was on their way home from a competition when their bus driver suddenly passed out. Christensen grabbed the wheel and tried to gain control of the bus. It rolled, and Christensen was the sole fatality.
Woodwind teacher Heather Christensen gave her life that night at milepost 49 to save her students.
If any musicians in the world know about passion and feeling right now, it's you guys. So put that in the music, please. Put that in the music. And what's really neat is I sense the love amongst each of you for each other. Sections are gone. This is the band.
On that Tuesday evening in Provo's Lavelle Edwards Stadium, thousands of people from American Fork and elsewhere filled the stands to support the band in its first performance after the accident.
That night when we played at BYU, I still can't comprehend that the kids did that.
American Fork High School Marching Band, you may take the field for competition.
I've never heard a show where the show stops and nothing in the stands. There was such emotion and tears, you could hear people weeping. It was powerful.
Heather, we know you will keep the angels in heaven, in time and in tune, because we knew you. Our lives have been changed for good.
And that power and that emotion touched little kids in the stand who were probably 7th or 8th grade at that time.
Going to this, it was this big thing, like, that's what I want to do.
And I went to the next show at BYU, which was like 2 or 3 days later. And it was the most amazing experience I've ever seen. I just saw the emotion that they put into that show, and I started crying.
And all of a sudden things kind of crystallized that I have to be in that.
that band. And parents saw the magic of the bonding of the family, the band family that came together. And they just wanted their children to be part of that.
It was something that everybody could feel in the stadium. Said volumes about the kind of people that are at American Fork, and also spoke volumes about the influence of them on the other bands.
I still have her picture over my desk. That whole event has impacted so many people. But the legacy she left is still with us.
Today's American Fork High School Marching Band is the product of decades of commitment and effort by teachers, administrators, parents, students, donors, alumni, and the community. But to speak with those who built the program is to realize that the program itself is just scaffolding. Its joy and its justification are in the building of young people.
You know, when I first came to American Fork, it was known for a real strong marching band, good jazz band, a good symphonic band. I followed Don Peterson at BYU. He was an amazing person.
The story of John Miller coming to American Fork is a memory that I cherish, because it really restored my faith in how things evolve. So we invited in 3 finalists. I was pretty taken with John because he was so sincere and such a good man. It came back pretty unanimous from all the students. They said, "We like Mr. Miller. He cares about us instead of about him." And that's really what made the difference. There were signs put up all around the school, "It's Miller time," you know, which obviously was a slogan from a beer company, but it worked.
It was a whole process of trying to develop a program. We just wanted to become the best that we could be. And I hope we've achieved that.
John is an amazing person, and he's immediately endearing to everyone, even those who were intimidated by him.
It's important to him to know the name of every band student. And he calls them up individually and talks to them. That's one thing that I think is unique about John Miller, is he cares about the kids.
One of the secrets of success at American Fork, the students are amazing. The band parents are unbelievable. The third aspect that I think has just really been great over the years is the community and administrative support here at American Fork High School. I think an overlooked part of it is our amazing staff that we have here.
John is a team builder. He knows how to gather people to work with him, and I think he's managed to achieve so much because he has built strong teams.
Together, we're able to make this experience a whole comprehensive band program, from when they first start with Mrs. Boyer or myself through when they finish with Mr. Miller.
It takes a lot to run a program like this. You know, for the past several years, we've been the best in the Western United States because of that. It's not something that just John Miller can do. And it's got to be parents, it's got to be the students, it's got to be administrative. It's everybody supporting this program.
Again, it comes back to Mr. Miller. As long as I've known him, the activity and the students is why we're here. And it's not about his glory, you know, to be on the cover of a music education magazine, to be on, you know, anything. It's we're here to give these kids this experience and to make sure that they know for the rest of their life that if you approach things the way we approach things here, you're going to be successful.
Because of that, there's always an interest as you grow up in that area to be part of the American Fork Marching Band. I know that when I first came to the band almost 10 years ago, that was one of the things that drew me to it, was the tradition of American Fork Marching Band and John Miller's reputation, not only within the Utah band circuit, but BOA and the United States as well.
So you got your parents, you got your kids, you got your staff, the community, and everything it's just been a fun ride.
As usual, preparations for the 2013 show begin mere days after the 2012 season ends. There's a theme to choose, music to select and arrange, a drill to write, costumes to invent, and flags to design. Before the school year ends, drum majors and section leaders have been elected, and sections have had their first meetings and rehearsals.
As a drum major, you start off you learn your music that you have to conduct to the band, and then you're kind of just like Mr. Miller's assistant.
There's a lot of behind-the-scenes things that drum majors do, getting ready for practice, talking about band members who need a little help. We spend more time off doing other things than we are on the podium.
When we came together, we're like, well, now the four of us need to learn how to work together and how to get the band to be motivated and do all this stuff.
We grew together really fast, and we've just had a blast this season, and we've just loved it completely.
I've learned a lot being tuba section leader, definitely. I've learned a lot about how to work with people.
My job as the section leader was to, like, if someone was mad, to like calm them down and just be like, hey, everything is gonna be fine, you know, and just like be there for them anytime they needed it.
I've had to learn to be loud. I was really quiet at first, I still am sometimes, but I've had to learn how to speak and to help my section, give them instruction, give them help, and to teach them.
This is not just music. This is life skills, this is about working as a team member, this is about responsibility, this is as family.
I've been told I'll make a really good mother someday, so.
I would say to any parent, take this advantage for your kids. This is a really worthwhile thing to do. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's time consuming. Yes, you're either freezing cold or boiling hot, but this really makes very, very fine young men and women.
The band takes 2 weeks off at the end of the school year. Then it's time to start summer rehearsals. July is parade season. The band marches in several local parades, including its hometown Steel Days Parade.
Parade season is basics season for us. And we start, the first step when we start training all these new kids of how to have posture and how to hold their horn and how to play their horns.
Marching in parades. I never really enjoyed it.
Sometimes it's fun and sometimes it stinks.
I love parades. They're so hot and they suck and they're so much fun.
Marching a parade is pure hell. Like, honestly, it's the worst part of marching band.
We did all the marching technique stuff, and I thought I could march pretty well. And then we did a parade, and I couldn't even play.
I remember that it was really hot.
And you have to be constantly looking to make sure that you're in line with everyone, and you have sweat dripping down every part of your body that drips sweat.
I had been hearing stories from my big brother of how evil it was and how deadly it was.
Marching in a parade, it's very difficult.
I thought my shoulder was gonna fall off.
Walking around in the sun for no reason, playing stupid music.
The parade tunes get stuck in your head forever, though.
It was so hard. I got sweat in both of my eyes.
I thought my arm was just gonna die.
It's like 100 degrees outside and you're wearing your freaking uniform and marching around and you actually have to look nice, so yeah.
I almost think in some ways that parades are harder to march than competitions because you have to be keeping the exact same form the entire time.
But I like parades because everyone cheers for you.
It's really cool to be in the parade and see everyone cheering. You can hear them down the street, they're cheering for the band just to wait and pass them. And it's really cool just to be a part of it.
It was so fun because everybody was cheering us on.
I was only 2 weeks into the marching band season and it was just parade stuff, but all of a sudden I knew that that's what I wanted to do and that I was going to love it and that I had to stay and that I couldn't quit.
With proper marching technique, posture, and other skills quickly becoming habits, even for the newest members of the band, focus turns to mastering the music and beginning to learn the drill for this year's field show entitled Fury.
Full rehearsals Monday mornings, and we go basics. We're hugely into basics. Prior to band camp, we might start learning the drill in the summer. How to, the opening set, the first 2 or 3 sets, how to read a drill. We structure how they're going to do a rehearsal. To check it, get on it. The drum majors have to figure out the commands they're going to give. And it's a whole process of just learning the drill.
Just small chunks after chunk until we can finally just get it down and then we just move on to the next.
We all work really hard together and really well together as one unit, and everybody has to be the same step size, the same dynamics, and we all have to be aware of where everybody is and what everybody's doing.
In August, before school resumes, the band gets up early one morning, loads trucks and trailers and buses with instruments, equipment, and enough food to feed a small army, and takes a long bus ride to remote Delta, Utah, the site of its annual 4-day band camp.
I think they put us in Delta so that we can't run away. Because there's nothing, and so if you try running somewhere, then you're just gonna get lost, so.
I didn't think I was gonna survive. I was like, okay, I'm saying goodbye to my family forever. I'm never coming back.
That's fine.
The percussion always joked about it being Mordor, and we'd base everything off Lord of the Rings. Because it's crazy, it's out in the middle of nowhere, there's nothing, you can't see anything.
It's not as bad as everyone says it is. Everyone says it's gonna be super hard and you're expecting it'll be like death after the first day, but it's really just like any other rehearsal except all day.
Good. Make sure you're on your dot. Right away, we're on our dot. Thank you, sorry.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The band and color guard rehearse from morning to night. The work is relentless.
It was tough, but it's fun because you go out in the hot sun and you're out there all day long and get as much water as you can, and you just work and work and work.
We got staff over here can work with these guys over here because I'm just playing with these guys. You guys do your own thing. Band camp, our goal is to learn the whole show. Our philosophy is we rough it out. Some bands will just clean precisely every single thing and not even teach anything until one is perfect. I've just never been that way. I like to have it all together so I know it's going to work so I can sleep at night. Listen to the drums. Relate it to the drum part. Release on 4. 1, 2, 3, up.
My section referred to it as Camp Heck when the rookies came in, and so I was actually very, very nervous about it. But then when I got there, it wasn't as nearly as bad as I thought it was. I mean, it was hot, it was sweaty, but it was a ton of fun.
As darkness begins to fall over Delta, the evening's rehearsal ends with a meeting. Leaders assess the band's progress during the day, give daily individual and section awards, and discuss what is yet to come.
They always are standing up, and they were running back to their dot. Band, attend, high! All your feet! Together! Stomach! Chest! Out! Shoulders! Back! Elbows! Frozen! Chin! Up! Eyes! With pride! With pride!
Then they unwind. Some still have energy for games, or at least for conversation. But soon enough, exhaustion and the prospect of another long day will temper even youthful vigor. A few hours after the end of each day, there's a new wake-up call and another day begins.
Stand up when you get there!
3 things are essential equipment at band camp: the water jug, the dot book, and the instrument. And you're not always using the instrument.
The drill is hard. The staff has been telling us that they haven't done as hard as a drill as we're doing in a really long time.
Trying to have a positive attitude and get everything done within the time frame of camp. It was kind of a stressful but exciting time.
When the whole band isn't together on the field, brass, woodwinds, percussion, and the color guard rehearse separately.
Just 8th notes, triplets, 8th notes, triplets, that's it.
1, 2, and 3, and. Yeah, so it's got to come to your shoulder by 2 and.
This year, band camp is the rookies' first encounter with a character the veterans already know and love. He is known simply as Ed. It doesn't take long for the rookies to see why Ed is there and why their more seasoned peers are fond of him.
I was teaching here, and I got a call from a guy named Ed that said he was moving to Salt Lake City. He had watched our band over the years, and he came down. I didn't know him from Adam. I watched him work with the band. The kids responded very well. He was wild and crazy and a very high energy person.
The biggest thing I think that would be awesome is if you can really let go and really go over the top and really let yourself perform, right? And get your legs straight, get your body big, get everything. Just be like, woo! You know, like set your hair on fire, strip off your clothes and run down the street. That's what you gotta be like.
I love Ed.
At first, I was honestly expecting like some super kind of athletic guy.
When he first yelled at us, I had to make sure my shorts were still on because I jumped. I was like, holy crap.
I was a shy kid, and I didn't know anyone. No one really talked to me. Band camp comes, I'm like, I gotta do something to get people to know who I am. And so I just start screaming at Ed that I love him. I'm just like, I love you, Ed. And he would say, shut up, Tony.
Like, he wants everything a certain way that if you don't get it, then he'll be like, no, you have to do it again, you have to do it again. So at band camp, we'd be repping things so many times just because Ed didn't like it.
I love you, Ed. Shut up, Tony.
He was kind of the main person that contributed to us perfecting our show, I think, was him pushing us so hard.
He's one of the biggest reasons that I feel comfortable with myself and that I'm so outgoing and that I'm not afraid of what people think of me when I first meet them. So
I don't know, when I come here, I feel like I'm coming home. This is like my second family. And John Miller's family to me, and this group has just been part of my life for so long. It's just part of me. It's been part of me for a long time. So it's always good to come here and just have things be the way they're supposed to be.
Maybe what we need to do is if you're...
Band dads and band moms both are busy this week, but it's the band moms who, apart from the band itself, are the stars of this show.
That was the coolest thing. The moms work so hard at band camp. We have women that'll get up, and band dads that'll get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they will prepare the breakfast for the kids. The kids eat from 6 to 7, and they are out on the field until noon. Then they come in for lunch, and they are out there until 5, and they come in for dinner, and then they come in about 9:30 at night.
I am really good at buying 100 pizzas at the last minute. I am really good at making cinnamon rolls. Give me a megaphone and a microphone and I can yell directions, but do not put me in a uniform or tell me to stand on a dock.
The band moms are amazing and help out with everything.
We did a band mom dance, and I had more fun with those ladies just learning the routine. Some of us had really good moves and probably should be helping with color guard a little more, frankly.
Marching band in general is unity. At the very end of the season, everything we do has to be choreographed and just synchronized perfectly. Every move has to be together, every note has to be together, attacks, releases, and everything. And band camp kind of helps to fulfill that because we do everything together. We eat together, we're hanging out here and we're doing things. And, it just helps to unify the entire process, not only musically, but socially and everything.
But it shows you really how much potential you have and how much more you can do than you think.
People wouldn't believe this if I told them, but I thought band camp was awesome.
If you have the right attitude, band camp is the best thing you could ever do.
I loved band camp. Everybody hates it. Everybody's like, it's too hot, it's too hard, there's so much work and all your muscles hurt, and I loved every second of it. And I don't know why, but I did.
And you gotta be prepared to get up in the morning and go after it every day, because you're not gonna gain perfection and excellence, just by waking up. You've gotta earn it.
Come prepared with a great attitude and motivation to work hard.
And then the big perspective shows you that you have learned so much in that 1 week that you're at band camp.
While you're there, you're just like, what am I doing here? This is crazy. Why am I here? But then, like I said, in the end, you realize that it's all worth it.
You know, the things we learn here, how to get up and go through it, how to push yourself through the uncomfortable times, how to push yourself through the hot and the pain and the sorrow and all of that stuff. I mean, that's, you know, it's life in a nutshell in 4 years.
It really shows you how amazing you are and how amazing those around you are to just do more than anyone ever thought you could do.
All the skills you learn here are going to help you succeed, you know, forever.
This year and every year, the band's success depends on the generosity of donors, the tireless work of many current and former band parents, and the support of administrators.
I don't think there is a resident in American Fork that doesn't have a knowledge of the American Fork High School Marching Band.
I think what it has done is it's created a sense of identity for the community.
It teaches them how to work with other people. The band teaches those students how to invest in something that's greater than themselves.
And that is true. All of our children attended and graduated from American Fork High School, and so we're kind of dyed-in-the-wool cavemen. I think one of the other things that is that's kept us very active in the program, and that is the contribution it makes to such a large number of kids.
I think you could go through, for example, my neighborhood and go through and say they had a child in band, they had a nephew in band, they had a grandchild in band. You could go up and down the street. And we're talking years of marching band.
In 2013, the band was able to rehearse on a vastly improved field thanks to large donations of money, labor, and materials.
Thank goodness to our new field out here. We've taken very great care, and the district and the folks at Sunrock and the Clyde Company who helped make that so smooth. It's a safe field to practice on now.
Every year, substantial transportation and other costs are paid by generous donors.
In 1990, we had a close friend of ours come to us and ask us if we would be interested in helping the American Fork Marching Band. And we drove down to St. George and spent the weekend with Mr. Miller and about 250 band students. And it didn't take but a short time before we really learned to love these students and what Mr. Miller does for them. We were hooked. And it was such a blessing. On the way home, we drove home and said, we got to do this again and again and again.
Always been a pleasure to be associated with the band. The band represents our community extremely well.
And it's not just the crowning jewel of American Fork High School. It affects our entire community. And we're proud of our band. We're really proud of our band.
The band's annual family night is held later than usual this year after weather forces a postponement.
Good evening. Is everybody ready to go?
At family night, the band performs its show twice, and the woodwinds, brass, percussion, and color guard each show off their skills separately. At the end, families join the band on the field and try to follow their family members while dodging everyone else for a brief portion of the show.
Make sure you have insurance. We picked the safest, the easiest drill we've got.
I always enjoy going out to first of the year and watching the orientation when they have the band parents night at the high school stadium, because it's new to them. They haven't completely polished their routines. They worked hard to learn it.
For several weeks, the marching band ranges up and down the Wasatch Front.
You picture the whole season in a couple seconds. You picture yourself walking out of the tunnel in a huge stadium, And then you picture yourself sitting there marching, sweat dripping down your face, and you're only halfway done, but then you still got a lot in you.
It was absolutely an amazing feeling knowing that there was 200 high school students that all wanted the same thing, working towards the same thing as hard as they could.
A marching band field show is more than a musical experience. It's a visual spectacle as well. Drill and uniforms are part of the visual show, but the heart of it is the color guard. Dozens of dancers with flags and rifles and sabers pass gracefully and dangerously through formations and explode with color.
I always say we're the eye candy. So, you know, the band, you hear the music, but when you're watching, a lot of people watch the flags and just kind of the overall package. And so I think that's what color guard brings. We always say the band's the cake, the color guard is the frosting. So we're the good part, right?
Our color guard is amazing. You know, Tiffany and her staff is just, they're the best in the West and probably most of the East. I had a lot of judges and a lot of people that saw me said our color guard placed in the top 3 at Nationals. And to do that with some of them never having done color guard until the marching band starts just amazes me. I can't speak highly enough of our color guard. It's as good as anything I've ever seen anywhere.
We're just like sisters, pretty much. We spend like 6 out of 7 days out of the week with each other, and it's just nonstop, consistent work, and we've grown to like know each other so well, and that's how we work together.
In this year's show, they enter the field with palpable fury and finish with joy.
I just think angry, because I'm supposed to be angry, and it's not that hard to be angry. Pretend you're mad at your like brother or sister or something. Like I summon the guard, and so I awkwardly like, come my minions. That's actually what I think in my head, and I say it out loud sometimes.
And they rehearse crazy hours, and they do what's asked of them all the time. And I wouldn't go anywhere else because I don't know that I'd get that commitment from anybody else.
We start earlier in the season by like 2 or 3 weeks from the band, and we just go all season long, and for 7 months straight we just kill our show and work on it and work on it and work on it. So that's a lot of hours that we put into it with the band.
So we're judged on what they're doing and then how well they do it. So they're looking at the overall design.
Students using the same exact marching technique to how much elevation of the toes do they have? What exactly are the knees doing? What exactly is the upper body doing? Where if you're not really trained in what you're looking for, you might not notice those little things, where a judge definitely will.
What you really look for is the band giving a message, saying something to you.
The true value in this whole process is what they do along the way. The work ethic they develop, the ability to clean something, the ability to perfect something. To me, if we get that part of it, we're there. If we get a piece of plastic as a trophy, great. But if not, I'm okay with that.
Mr. Miller's always really calm, and he wants to help us do our best. He's always, before competitions, he's very calm, saying, you guys can do this, you've done it before.
The crowd would just stand up, give this huge standing ovation, and it was just like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
A fan favorite is the Rocky Mountain Invitational, hosted annually by Brigham Young University and held at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. The large stadium allows fans to watch shows from a much higher vantage point.
When people taste success, it's pretty hard to turn them back, and you could tell that they knew that they were saying something with that show. Went up to John afterwards, out in the parking lot. He's so calm about it and everything, and I said, John, I hope you realize what you have here. I said, I think this is the best they've ever been. And he said, thanks. I kind of think that too.
Outstanding musical performance. American Fork. To American Fork High School. American Fork. American Fork High School. The American Fork High School. American Fork. American Fork. American Fork High School. And in first place in a 5A divisional with a score of 929.4. 961.25. 965.58. American
Observers in Utah and across the nation have noticed something unusual about Utah high school marching bands. They cheer for their competitors.
When they came out, I think it was Davis High School, cheered for them, and they were competing against them. It's unheard of.
It's not like we're really rivals, I guess, except when we're performing. And then we're friends, because we're all just high school students.
There's no losers. It's not a football team where we hate the other team. We all are in the same pool. And my drum majors are instructed as the band. Any band that comes on the field, they need to be, giving them a cheer. When they come on the field, maybe give them a cheer when they leave the field.
We are not focused on whether we're better than somebody else. We're focused on what we can be. And along that way, celebrating progress other people are making.
I think that's the essence of the whole program. And I don't know whether that's unique to this state, but that is something that we've always encouraged.
When you've worked as hard as you have to learn a band routine, when you put that uniform on and march that routine so many times, you watch what the other bands are doing, you try and appreciate what they've learned, what they've mastered, what they've come through, and you feel a closeness to them for their effort, just like they feel for you for your effort.
We did that in California, and other bands thought we were crazy. They had never heard that. Directors came up to me and said, what are you doing? That's so cool that you do that, because we hate each other down here. And it was just totally foreign to them.
They always cheer for their bands, and the other band kids cheer for American Fork because there's a unity, there's a brotherhood.
We try to really develop an interrelationship with all those bands. And it's kind of come back to help us, because now other bands cheer for us.
That's what true competition is. We want you to do your best. You want us to do our best so that we can see how it really comes out. Whoever wins, we're all going to be happy. What an amazing concept for competition.
In most years, the American Fork High School Marching Band's last two competitions are in St. George, Utah. On the first Friday in November, the Red Rocks Invitational doubles as the Utah State Championship.
This is that part where it leaves the marching band world and becomes life. The moment you stop pushing, and the moment you become comfortable with yourself, with your life, with your job, with your family, with anything, the moment you become comfortable, it starts to go downhill. You can't get comfortable. You got to keep pushing. You only get so much time here.
Paint it with air!
The marching band arena is very competitive, and we kind of think of ourselves as competitive in a positive way, but we really try to downplay the competitiveness. So all we try to do is tell the students to go out and do the very best show they can do. If they happen to score higher than another band, that's great. If they don't, no problem. We always say if a band's going to actually outscore us, they better be very, very, very good. Just go in there tonight, play the best you can, enjoy the experience, and then relax, play together, don't tear rhythmically, and no one's sticking out. We're going to have a great show. This should be the very best show you have ever done.
Mr. Miller's the spiritual center of this group, and everything that happens here is a reflection of him. The way these kids behave in the hotel, just everything. I mean, everything comes back to him. He's the center of this organization. And all the people that I see all over the country, all the bands, everywhere I go, kids are always a reflection of their director. It's whether they're willing to get up every day and go to work and get it done. These kids just are. The culture's here. And it takes a long time to build that culture.
Saturday brings the Bands of America Southwest Regional, where some of the best bands from several western states compete.
Joining us from American Fork, Utah, please welcome the American Fork High School Marching Band.
tubas. I mean, they had the cool little horn flip this year, which was really kind of neat, and that was exciting.
I thought it was super awesome.
The students came up with it. A lot of times sectionals will come up with cool little moves, and so they went to their staff and they said, look at this, we think this works. And the staff came to me and I said, well, tell them to perfect it and then we'll look at it.
They were like, if you guys don't get this down, then we're gonna take it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, we should get this down.
And so then they worked on it like crazy and then they perfected it and they said, okay, take a look at this, Mr. Miller. And I looked at it and said,
It was really quite cool when they could do it together. It didn't always happen, but when it did, it was awesome.
If they would have put as much time into learning to play their music as they did that horn flip, they'd have been a better section.
We've had 27 bands participate with us today from 6 states. These students who have earned this special honor tonight to perform in the finals championship are going to enter this field, and we want to recognize and, more importantly, to celebrate what they have worked on.
And in first place, with a score of 88.85, the 2013 Bands of America St. George Regional Champion, the American Fork.
I have no way to explain what I was feeling. It was like crying and happiness and all these emotions that I don't know how to explain, that were just like, and it was great, and I loved that feeling.
You're with your best friends and you're doing things that you hate and you love, and we do it for who knows what reason. But it's just the best thing that anyone could ask for.
If you could take a snapshot of in a band camp, it felt pretty good. But take a snapshot of last night's competition afterwards. It's been neat to see the whole journey from beginning to end in 2 weeks.
I was feeling like it all went too fast. It feels like just yesterday the season was just beginning, it was my final season, and now I'm going, where has it all gone?
This year, St. George is the next to last step in a longer journey to Indianapolis and Grand Nationals.
You know, there's a different feeling this year. You know, I come in every year at this time, and there's a different feeling this year, and they know that something's coming. We're treading into a territory that almost all of them have never been to. You know, a level of excellence and a level of the precision that they just haven't experienced. So we've got to find a way to climb that ladder and hit that within the next 2 weeks. Just continue the crescendo and continue the build so that we're ready and have our best show of our life 2 weeks from tonight.
Friday afternoon brings a bus trip to Salt Lake City for a long rehearsal in the University of Utah's indoor football practice facility.
When we first got this drill, it was the hardest thing we'd ever seen. But we knew we were going to nationals this year, so we just did everything we could to do it, and the kids have risen to the occasion.
Saturday is also a work day, filled with a final cleaning camp at the high school.
Did you hit that gong at the end of that?
Because everything's happening the way it's supposed to happen. You know, in years past, this has been the pinnacle of the season. This has been it. This year we've got 2 more weeks to go, and they're ready for it.
school marching band in the state is about to compete for title of best in the country. The American Fork High School marching band is marching to greatness.
Yeah, tonight they're headed to Indianapolis, finishing up a winning season to compete at the national level.
The American Fork High School marching band is drilling on timing, positioning, and precision. And drum major Jordan Spencer prepares them to compete on the same field that hosted the Super Bowl in January. So when they get to Indianapolis, they'll first be competing against 109 bands, and then if they make it to Saturday, they'll be in the top 12, and that's their goal. So, Dave, they're heading out there with a lot of confidence, and we wish them the best.
Hey, even as an Orem Tiger, we're all behind the AF band and wish them luck. Thanks, Chad.
Welcome to Indianapolis. We're glad to have you. Tomorrow, 11:30. I hope not, but it could be, easily could be, your last show. 94, I don't know, it keeps floating. I hear 92, 94, 96, 94 bands. Somehow we have to float to the top 25. We have to do something at that performance. Don't hold back and say, well, this is just prelims. I'll save the best for semifinals. Semifinals might not come. Every single time we do our show now, it has to be the best we have ever done. And you're gonna be a little nervous, and that's okay to be a little nervous, but I'm just gonna plead with you, if you get rest tonight, and you come refreshed tomorrow, we need to relax and have the show of our life. Hi, I'm Ed. Hi. Man, I tell you what. No, I'm just thinking about it. I mean, think back. I've been here for 2 weeks now, right? About 2.5 weeks. Right, I showed up 2 Wednesdays ago. Think about that rehearsal that we had when we were down in St. George. That first day where we took the last movement and we did it again and 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 again until you all cried. Yeah. How much better are you right now than you were that day? Yeah, you're more than 2 weeks better, aren't you? Yeah. I just look at this, it's like tomorrow you just have to leave absolutely no question that you're one of the top 10 bands in the country. You know, you just have to go out and leave no question. You leave no trace. Leave nothing in anybody's mind. You know, you go out. The thing is, we're in this magical place now where we're all going to end this together. You know, they're going to take this away from us forever, and we only get to do it 2 more times, or 1 more time, or 3 more times. You know, like we all are standing in the center of the city, holding hands, and we know when the world's going to end. We do. The Saturday at midnight, this family disappears, doesn't it? And we'll never do this again. So when you get out tomorrow, it's all about making sure that they know. You know, they know why we came here. Okay, you did an awesome job when we were down in St. George of making the Bands of America community know who we are, right? Judges went home and they talked. Everybody went home and talked. Everybody knows about us. We show up for the first show and are a little woogity and a little weird and a little nervous. We can't have that, can we? No. You guys are so prepared. You guys are so well trained. You guys love each other so much. You guys love this show so much. You just gotta show up tomorrow and leave no doubt in anyone's mind that when we all go out together on midnight Saturday night, you know who we were. When we burn completely like a fire and it's nothing but ashes, this is who we are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You feel me? That's what I got. I'm just, you know, as long as I've been here doing this with Mr. Miller, this is the best prepared and the best group that I've seen. Okay, I need you to have a seat, quick as you can. This is going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience. And this is the moment that we've been waiting for. And I think we're as more prepared as we ever have been, and I think we're ready to do this. We are ready to make this thing happen here tonight. So when the crowd is, it's just going to be, it's goofy, you know. It's like playing in, you know, like the bathroom at the mall or something. It's just this weird little echoey place. But as long as you guys are feeling each other and generating the excitement that you need to generate, and don't worry about those people up there, because you'll probably knock them all dead in the first 3 minutes anyway. But you just guys have to get into yourselves, feel each other, and then everything will take care of itself, baby.
If you want me here, okay, speak.
Wonderful warm ridge sound, folks. Wonderful. That's awesome. We can sound like that. We're gonna be in great shape. Great. A little bit of visual you can't forget. Don't forget that visual. Okay, we only have a few seconds here because they're gonna kick us out. When I tell you to leave, we're gonna go over there. Thank you. Okay, we'll be gone. We're gonna be right through that door. We're gonna line up on the other side of those curtains. So when we tell you to go, be gone. We're gonna line up over there. Cool? Wonderful sound. You feel that good? Yes. I mean, that is great. If you can go out there and remember all the decrescendos, the crescendos, the releases, just go out and have fun. I know some of you are kind of uptight right now, right? Yeah. Don't be uptight. This is an incredible crowd. Not many people in the universe get to even play here, and you have this opportunity. Enjoy it. Don't be so freaked out that you don't have fun. Okay, go out there and have a great experience. Share with those people this incredible music of Tchaikovsky and Shostakovich. I hope you all go out and buy the albums. Okay, seriously, because it's amazing music and you guys are playing amazingly. No matter what happens, you're awesome. We okay? Yeah. Very good. Let's go right over here and let's line up.
Friday's performance in the preliminary round of Grand Nationals is the first time any member of the band has been on the field at cavernous Lucas Oil Stadium.
Joining us from American Fork, Utah, please welcome the American Fork High School Marching Band.
It was scary and awesome at the same time because it was just so big, it was kind of overwhelming. But at the same time, I'm thinking this is awesome. I've been working so hard to get here.
While the band performs, 2 band rooms full of family members and other supporters watch the video feed at American Fork High School.
Fell on the field and I was absolutely mortified. It was literally this moment where I stepped on a color guard's flag. We were both just slightly off.
That was my flag.
Was it really?
Yes, it really was. That was my flag.
And our eyes just locked and we both had this just this expression of dread on our face, like the world was going to end.
Your flag is supposed to come up and it doesn't because there's a flute on it.
And we were both crying after the performance. We thought we had ruined everything, but no one had even noticed it happened.
Okay, how do you feel right now? Pretty good? You know, people are always asking me, how do we do? How do we do? How do you feel and everything? Sometimes I'm just like a numb dude. I never know after this because things sound so funny in there. When we're not correct, it sounds like you're playing by yourself. Yeah. We will address that if we have another opportunity, but if we do, we'll tell you how to, it's simple, you just have to play. There was 8 great bands in that block. A couple of people told me that, man, that was the block to be in because that was 8 great bands were in that block. The competition here is more intense than it's ever been. We are in competition to make semifinals, not even finals at this point.
The band must wait until evening to learn that there will be at least one more performance.
The American Fork.
Yes! Because the American Fork High School Marching Band has advanced to the semifinals.
We came here to play. We came here to make semifinals. You accomplished that. And now our next stage is to see how much further we can get along in this game. So we have to be mature, professional people and rise up. So we want to make sure that your ending performance is just the very best you can. Can you make that happen? Yes. Okay, we're going to be really quick here. You good? Any comments or anybody else? Hi, here's Ed.
Hey, I'm Ed. He stole my speech. Hey, I don't know. I mean, all we know right now is that we're one of the top 22 bands in the country, right? And nobody's going to feel alone today, are they? No. No, there's no alone out there. You feel each other. You know what this place feels like now? So you're going to go out and put out the sound. Remember, we talked about that Lucas Oil Stadium that's up there, right? You got to look like you're dancing on the hell. Like that's what it's got to be. How am I going to get myself up on top of the word Lucas? Right? That's what today's all about. How am I going to get my sound? How am I going to get my smile? How am I going to get my presence up there? You know, that's what this is all about. Everybody got it? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. And hopefully we'll earn another one. But, you know, just like yesterday, we got to leave no doubt. Like the thing about yesterday was awesome. Like you guys got off the bus and you were incredible. You got off the bus and it was like, okay, we're going to do this thing. And we had an awesome warm-up, like one of the best warm-ups I've ever had. And then we went out, and some people got out there and went, oh man, look at all those lights, dude. You see those lights? You know, and they're like, well, I kind of feel by myself. Okay, so you're over that now. So now we can create another awesome warm-up. We can walk out onto the field and say, I don't care about your lights, okay? I'm gonna dance on Lucas. Okay, today we're doing the Lucas dance. Everybody got it? Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Let's just begin this crescendo right now and just.
Among the unsung heroes of the marching band are the band dads, who load and haul and unload and who help move the equipment on and off the field in competition. Even they must raise their game for nationals. They're accustomed to having 4 minutes to get everything onto the field. In Indianapolis, they have 2.5 minutes.
I was helping to be the timekeeper. I had a stopwatch, and I was yelling out to let them know when it's time to start running.
A lot of effort goes into this. I'm seeing this firsthand working today as one of the band dads. They've started 4 or 5 hours ago getting us ready to go, and they'll play for a few minutes, then come back and work another 3 or 4 hours, put it all away, and hopefully we'll do that again and later again in this competition.
When you look at the kind of dedication and commitment that the band staff and particularly the students have to the program, you can't do anything less but give all your effort to it.
It's because of the kids. It's not because of us. We're not there to perform. We're there to help the kids so they can do their job.
You're working side by side with great guys like Ernie Johns and Greg Carter and Troy Mace that have been there for years, and some of them no longer have kids in the program and haven't for years since they've graduated, but are just there because of the opportunity to support the kids and also the camaraderie.
Okay, this is it, right? You guys are awesome. Great warm-up. Things are happening. Just play your heart out. We don't want this to be our last show, but it possibly could. So play it as if you will never play this again. Play it from your heart. Listen to the music. Listen around you. Energize the people.
Joining us from American Fork, Utah, please welcome the American Fork High School Marching Band.
I could not have asked for a drop more. I really couldn't have. I've listened and watched that show several times since then, and I really couldn't have asked for any more. They played at probably the highest level I've ever heard an American Fork band play. They achieved an extremely high level.
I remember thinking about right at the end of semifinals, I thought there is a fantastic season.
How many think that was the best show you've ever done in your life? Yeah! Now, that having been said, I think I agree. I mean, I think we have made a statement of every show gets better and better, and I thought Prelims was pretty darn good. That was off the planet. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If that is our last show and we leave that, I hope you feel really, really good. If we get the gift of doing it one more time, it will be a pure celebration of excellence. So you guys did awesome. I thought the sound was there, visually it was there. Did you hear the crowd? Yeah! You know, beyond doing it for ourselves, we do it for those people. And a lot of you had parents up there, and I think the band room was full again this morning, even that bright early morning. But that was just awesome. So good. You have something profound to say? They were crying? It was that bad? That's good. That was awesome. I hope you feel good from the depths of your heart. Last comment, and then we'll tell you what we're going to be doing here. Staff, or anybody? What can I possibly say? Did we fill that enormous warehouse with us today? Yes. That's what this is all about, you know? Getting to perform is a precious gift in this world. You know, to make music with your friends and to stand in front of other people and to give that little bit away. You know, I mean, music's what makes us, you know, it makes us feel, it makes us human. Those things that can't be put into words, we can do through music. I think we filled that place with us today. And I think that's great. You know, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, you're not going to remember where you came in. You know, you're going to remember walking off the field and sitting in this room and feeling the way we felt about what we did together today. Those are the things that you get old thinking about. You know, medals are stupid, trophies are dumb, rings are ridiculous. You know, it's that opportunity and that precious gift we get to perform. That's the thing you get to take with you forever, and that's awesome. And you guys earned that today. So, congratulations. Good for you.
In early evening, bands gather in the stadium. Drum majors take the field for a ceremony which culminates in the announcement of the 12 finalists. Some band members expect American Fork to be in the finals. That is the season's final goal. Some have begun to feel that the morning's superb semifinal performance was their last. One by one, the announcer lists the finalists.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we announce the 2013 Bands of America Grand National Finalist Bands. The Avon High School Marching Band from Avon, Indiana. The Lawrence Central High School Marching Band from Indianapolis, Indiana. The Woodlands High School Marching Band from the Woodlands, Texas. The Ayala High School Marching Band from Chino Hills, California.
The first 11 are other bands, but there's still hope. When the announcer names the 12th, it's not American Fork.
Good job, guys.
Thanks.
Good smile, guys. Good job.
It was really hard to completely wrap my head around it because it's what you've been wanting and working so hard for all season. And you feel like you deserve to get there and you worked your hardest.
I thought the kids did a great show. I couldn't have asked for more out of them in any aspect. I think they handled what we just experienced very well. I thought it was a great experience. It would be nice to make finals, but we're playing with the big boys here. We still have a ways to go. We have some things to do, but I'm just extremely proud of our kids. As much as you wanted to do that tonight, you know, to end on the note that you ended at the semifinals was a pretty darn good way to end the year. I mean, that's, you know, not very many bands get to do that. So I hope you're doing okay. You know, I know we'd all love to be there tonight and everything, but that's okay. They didn't choose us, and we have to live with that and move on. So congratulations on, everybody's been telling me how amazing it was at the semifinals, and my phone's been ringing and texting and everything. And don't buy into things that people tell you, like, well, you should have been there, you're robbed, and all that kind of stuff. No, these are 8 of the best judges in the world, and those are 12 of the best bands in the world. And I'm assuming we're like 13th or 14th, like always. So, you know, someplace in there.
I really wanted to make finals. For my senior year, last year of marching band, I guess I was just
kind of shocked because everybody was like, oh my gosh, you did super good.
If we didn't make it, the other marching bands really must have been absolutely amazing. So I was okay with it in a way.
It was a little bit devastating, but that wasn't really why I had joined marching band to get into finals. I joined marching band because I wanted friends, for one thing.
But after I calmed down and like thought about it, it was just great to like know that we gave it our all.
It was so amazing and so wonderful, you know, so bitter at the same time.
We have great kids. I mean, they were just incredible, so I thought that they would do it. But you know, I wasn't disappointed at all because they went and did what they were supposed to do.
A marching band show is so subjective to judges' opinions, and if we allow a judge's opinion to validate our success or a failure, I failed as a teacher, and they haven't gotten the lesson we were trying to teach them.
John has always been phenomenal when they don't win. You know, when it's not an outright win. There's always been a positive attitude that they learn from everything that they do and nothing's wasted.
I'd do anything to go back to nationals again. So much fun. Such a great experience.
In Indiana, we had finally become a band instead of just a bunch of sections. It's not about winning first place or the recognition or anything like that. It's that we perform the heck out of a show and we all do it together.
The real goal was getting there and being a part of that and doing your best and becoming the one unit and the one family that you really were trying to be all along.
I always worry that the kids will think, well, we didn't make the finals and the whole season's down the toilet. And that's not the case. If a student is in band to win a trophy, they're in band for the wrong reasons. The most important thing you're going to do is the process, not the end result.
This group's taught me to never stop growing, to put my ego in my pocket and try to walk away better than I was when I showed up. That's how American Fork changed my life.
In trials and in just basic hard work, I think that's why it's called a band. They band together. We all come together and help each other and support each other. And I think that's one of the big pluses for parents. They want their kids involved in something like that.
Tomorrow is another day, a travel day. The band returns home. Its long season finally ended. Some of its members will graduate in the spring and move on with their lives. A few of these will return as staff members in future seasons. Other band members will remain, and preparations will soon begin for the 2014 season. New students will join the band, and a long and honored tradition of human excellence will continue.
When you see these kids and what they go through and how music helps them and what marching band does, then you realize this is way beyond a music program.
In the end, the champions of the West finish one victory short of perfection, at least where judges' scores are concerned. But it doesn't seem to be about the many victories or the one defeat. It's not the trophies which make the tradition. It's not prizes which honor predecessors, teachers, families, schools, city, or the sacrifice at milepost 49. World which sometimes obscures the best, most hopeful, and most lasting things, such as grace, courage, loyalty, and excellence, a band of youth from American Fork has found and embraced them yet again, and has displayed them beautifully for all to see. This is American Fork's High School Marching Band, the champions of the West.
reasons that you'd want to join the marching band. The number one thing is all the lessons that you'll learn and just how life-changing it is. And another reason is that there's attractive men in the band.
3 other girl drum majors, it's you can't really battle for your opinion.
Then the next one starts there and crescendos all the way up. Does everybody understand now? Can you do that? Sing it with the pinky.
Apparently I look good in pink, so
I am a figment of your imagination.
How are your feet? Together! Stomach! Chest! Elbows! How are your feet? Did you need a sparkle?
Not a zoo animal.
If they end on that note, it was wonderful. If they get another shot, it's even better. It's spice, like Tabasco, hot and burning. Right.
The craziest section, I'd have to go with the mellophones. They're absolutely insane.
Probably the mellophones.
Mellophones. Yeah.
They have these little not paper clips, clothespins that they just stick on everyone.
No, I carry a clothespin with me. Wow.
We got this whole clothespin thing going.
Oh, that's annoying.
Oh. Ooh, dang.
Probably the tubas.
I don't know who's the craziest section in the band. I think my section's pretty crazy, to be honest.
I would like to say trumpets because they do a lot of weird things.
Well, it's probably tubas or drumline.
Weirdest section is probably the tubas. They're just so loud.
Probably the alto saxophones. They're pretty weird. They have some weird rituals.